Welcome to Her Take with Dr. Mary. Today, I just want to tell you, you are not the next best thing since sliced bread. Yes, I said it. You are not. Yeah, we are in the era of self-love. I want my peace. I want my this. I want my that. Everybody should just know that I'm in this era of wanting self-love, of wanting my peace. You are not the next best thing since sliced bread. Why am I saying that? We live in a world where now everybody seems to have the specifications of the kind of love they want, both from friends, both from intending romantic partners. I read the other day, I want a mister. I can do anything anything it takes to make you happy. Auntie, are you a Mrs.? I can do whatever it takes to make the man happy as well. Or it's just yourself you're thinking about in this situation? All the specifications that you all seem to have, that everyone seems to have you ever taken a second to think about it? Am I actually the person who does the same thing that I expect from others? Do I give the kind of love that I want to receive? Just take a moment, pause and think about that. Or are we just all deluding ourselves and expecting everybody to take whatever we dish out and not willing to take that in return? So you can't take what you dish out, but you want people to give you grace whenever you are in your feelings, or whenever you are, doing things that would definitely be upsetting to the other person. Like, it's just ridiculous. I was scrolling through Twitter the other day and I saw something. I don't know how to even start it. Okay, let me put it this way. It says, how a good partner makes you a better person. An example is, there's a kind of way a partner speaks to you, and no matter how sharp-tongued you used to be, you unconsciously find yourself becoming kinder too. Now, this take might seem like some deep, all those podcast people do, when they hear something like this, it seems like a deep take, right? But if you take a step back and think about it, are you trying to say that you're giving the responsibility of you being kind, or of you being a nice person to the partner that you're going to be with? Isn't that just a tad bit, not just a tad bit, it is selfish. It is selfish. You're handling the responsibility of you being a good person to your partner, or of you being a nice person. Why not learn to control your tongue before you enter a relationship? Why not learn to bridle your mouth before you go into a relationship, instead of expecting somebody's son or somebody's daughter to be the one that pacifies you so that you learn to speak kinder? Really? How many people actually take the time to think about it? How am I when I'm backed into a corner? How do I get when things don't go my way? How do I get when the going gets tough? How do I get when I'm having an emotional breakdown? Am I somebody that can still that people still want to be around when I'm going through those things? If you've not taken the time to think about that, then you're definitely going to be a difficult person to be with. And you can't just expect, like this lady said, and please, why is it always my gender? But that's another topic for another day. I think the major thing I am looking for in relationships and friendships is safety. To be safe, to feel safe with my emotions, my feelings, my decisions, my wins, my losses, my body. To be certain that if anything happens, no matter how bad it is, I have someone and people who gets me. Podcast people will say, when you hear something like that, right? It seems like some deep thing. And see, are you the kind of person that gives people grace too? Are you the kind of person that gives people the benefit of the doubt as well? So if your friends and your partner are also giving you water based on is their feelings, is their decisions, they want to feel safe around you, will you take it? No matter what it is, like you said, no matter what happens, will you take it? No, really, we need to take a step back and look at how selfish we have become in this generation. Everybody is in me world. Because marriage would rip you to shreds if you're a selfish person. Just imagine a world where everybody went into marriage, seeing the relationship itself as much more important than their individual feelings. Just imagine that you and your partner coming together, seeing the relationship as much more important than your individual feelings. I know how many times I would be at home because I work remotely, right? I would be at home, and even at the times when I didn't work remotely, I would have had a stressful day handling the kids, doing all sorts of housework, cooking, doing everything, and basically managing the home. And I would be having this expectation of when my husband comes back from work, I expect him to see my pain. I expect him to cuddle me. I expect him to, worship the ground I walk on because, well, I'm doing such an amazing job managing the home. And then when he comes back and he's all like, can I please get my dinner? And, goes to bed. The feminist in me. I know. Twitter will rage if I bring something like this on there. Hey, your husband is a masochist. Is a misogynist. Is a kiniko. But have you ever thought about the kind of day he must have had at work? Did you take a moment to think about who he must have met? The kind of things he must have dealt with. If he is happy himself to come and, comfort you or make you happy, do you take a moment to before you go raging all over him or giving him attitude, do you take a moment to give him the benefit of the doubt? Because deep down who you married. And if indeed you married a good person, you will know that he's not intentionally ignoring you or whatever it is you're conjuring in your mind. Marriage requires that you think of yourself less and think of your partner more. This idea revolutionized my sex life in marriage. When I took a pause and I started to think of how it's not about me. And I saw it as a means of showing my partner that I love him. A means of speaking his love language instead of just coming there and wanting just to please myself. It revolutionized my sex life. Now I know that this will be difficult with a partner who is not reciprocating the same energy. But, like it says in 2 Peter. All right, it says in 1 Peter 3, it says, likewise, wives, be subject to your own husband, so that even if some do not obey the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives, when they see your respectful and pure conduct. So even if you have an unbelieving husband, Peter is saying here, there is a way you can, be considerate of your partner. And I'm speaking for marriage here, right? This is for people who are in marriage. There is a way, basically, because so many things may happen where you didn't end up with the kind of partner that, you can reciprocate this positive energy that I'm talking about, where you're thinking about the other person. So if you're already in marriage and you find yourself with a partner who doesn't do that, this is an option, a route that you can go through in reaching out to your partner. Sometimes just taking a moment to think about them, to consider them, to give them room for them to also express their feelings, for them to also be vulnerable with you, where it's not just about you. Do you know how many times, why am I saying all of this? Let me just backtrack a little. We forget that we are self-absorbed beings. It is so easy to think about yourself. I know how many times in the day I have to stop my thoughts in its track because I've realized that I've fallen into that me thinking. So when we are out here clamoring and speaking about, oh, I want this kind of love, I want that kind of love, I just want you to do some sort of introspection. Just some sort of introspection. And you might easily say to yourself that, well, I'm that kind of person. I've thought about it. I am that kind of person. So why can't I expect that in return? In my opinion, a lot of people who toot their horns are not really who they claim to be. I've seen that a lot of times. They are not really who they claim to be. I just want you to take the opportunity to do some sort of introspection. Do you deserve the love that you claim you want to have? Do you deserve the kind of love that you are so vehemently expecting from somebody's son or somebody's daughter? Because, and I will end with this, if you are somebody who does not do any sort of introspection whatsoever, know this and know peace. You are definitely going to be a difficult person to live with. Thank you once again for listening to me and have a pleasant day. Bye.